I'm not sponsored by nor am I affiliated with any of the companies mentioned in this video. All opinions represented are mine and mine alone. They do not represent anyone besides myself. Your opinions may differ. That's okay. Try this stuff out yourself in order to find out if it works for you. Hi everybody, it's me, Krista. Welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. If not, welcome to the very first time to my little art corner here on YouTube. Today I'm going to be doing an unboxing of the May 2019 Artsnacks box. As always, I will be opening it off of camera, just so you guys don't have to deal with the awesome noises that are associated with that. Let's get into it. As always, we got our cute little Artsnacks logo shaped sticker in the pencil pretzel, and this one looks like it has some floral decorations on it. The snack for this month's box is Smarties. I'm definitely going to be biting into those pretty soon here. So this first item is something I've literally never used before or even heard of. I'm going to have to keep my chopsticks a little separated from these because if I'm not paying close enough attention, I'm going to think it's a chapstick or lipstick. These are faber-castell gelatos. They're normally $2.45 each, and these are a staff favorite. You're in for a real treat with faber-castell gelatos. These compact, vibrant pigment sticks are creamy smooth, light fast, and have great coverage. They glide easily onto paper, canvas, or wood. Blend you new colors with or without water and watch them melt into your artwork. These will be probably kind of fun to play with because it's a completely different thing for me. Never heard of them. Not even sure how they work, so we will see. The colors I got are Blood Orange and Aquamarine Dolce. Let me know in the comment section down below what colors you got. This will be fun. I'm apparently having a little bit of a blue and orange kick because last month's Artsnacks box for me also came with blue and orange. They're good colors to play with together, so it'll be fine. And right there is the tip of the gelatos. It kind of just feels like a waxy crown material, and it has a little twisty end here to make it go out further. Next we have a Faber-Castell Art and Graphic Water Brush. It's normally $7.99 retail price. So I'm assuming this is supposed to be used with those gel sticks that we were just looking at. Nothing holds water like this brush. The Faber-Castell Art and Graphic Water Brush is the perfect tool for mixed-media artists. Just unscrew the top, fill with water, and start painting. Gentle pressure on the barrel will allow water to flow through the tip. Another cool detail, the sharp point on the cap can be used for scratching and scraping techniques. Alrighty, this right here looks like the water barrel. Looks like it just twists off like they said. Kind of stiff squeeze, so you might have to squeeze a little harder. We'll kind of see as we're using it. Then this is the cap that comes off. That's the brush. The brush is really stiff at first, but it does feel like it softens up the more you touch it. So you might have to warm up the bristles a little bit. Just touch them with your fingers and let it kind of soften a tiny bit. And it's definitely individual bristles, not like nib. This I'm actually excited about because I've been wanting to try this marker for a while now. I know that it's been compared to be like a substitute for Copic markers. This is the Chart Pack Spectra AD marker. It's normally $5.70 retail price. From its brilliant alcohol-based ink to its ergonomically shaped body, the Spectra AD marker was designed with the artist in mind. Its twin tips offer a wide range of line options. The flexible brush nib delivers a smooth line that adjusts with pressure, while the tri-nib provides thin, medium, and thick lines with a simple twist of the wrist. It feels kind of really lightweight in the hand. For some reason I'm having issues with the caps here. It has like a chisel tip. I know they call it something besides a chisel tip, but that's just a normal little chisel tip. And then it has the brush side. which is actually pretty flexible. And that looks like a pretty dark blue on my finger there, because for some reason I need to touch the art supplies. Okay, this is pretty funny because I got one of these in a blue color a few years ago from Artsnacks in a different box. I'm going to grab it real quick and show you. See? Have another one in blue. It's pretty bright blue. And actually this would work with the colors we got this time too. I may or may not use that when I decide what I'm going to make, just so I can use it for something else. Typically when I do splatters and paintings, I just use acrylic paint and water it down a lot. I don't typically use a spray nozzle, but might be an excuse to use both of them. And this is the Marabu Mixed Media Art Spray, and it is normally $5.99. Spritz some vivid color onto your artwork with Marabu Mixed Media Art Spray. This acrylic spray paint goes on a variety of surfaces and is permanent when dry, allowing for multiple layers of color and texture. Before each use, shake the bottle vigorously for 60 seconds. And we got a sample paper pack this month, which is usually a bonus item in these Artsnacks boxes. I do like it when I get them. And these are specifically the Stillman and Byrne Nova Trio Mixed Media Paper Sample Pack. And as I said already, it is a bonus item. This sample pack from Stillman and Byrne features 150 GSM medium grain paper in 3 different tones, beige, gray, and black. With its enhanced wet strength, this paper is made for mixed media work. The full-size version contains this trio of shades in one sketchbook, so artists can experiment and compare. If you enjoy this sample, Nova Trio sketchbooks are now available for purchase in the Artsnacks shop. So if you use this paper and you like it, you can buy a pack that comes in the different shades. I'm going to leave them in here for now just to keep them protected, because it does come in this plastic sleeve. And because of the sizing, I don't really know if I'm going to use these or not. If I do, I'm going to have to actually think about what I'm doing. We will see. Maybe I'll use all 3. Who knows? I don't yet. And here's just a brief overview of everything we have in this box thus far with the pricing, and we'll kind of see how much this stuff would cost if you bought it separately. The faber-castell gelatos are $2.45 each, so that's about $5 for the 2. The faber-castell art and graphic water brush is normally $7.99. The Chartpak Spectra AD marker is normally $5.70. And the Marabu Mixed Media Art Spray is normally $5.99 each. Obviously, we're not going to include the sticker. I'm not even going to include the paper samples in the box because the prices aren't listed and all that stuff. Total for this stuff at a normal retail price would be $24.58. The box itself is $25 before shipping, so it is $30 with shipping. So you aren't really saving any money or getting much of a discount by getting it this way. But you are getting some stuff that you might not normally use. I know a lot of this is stuff that I don't normally use. And part of the fun of these boxes is to get something, kind of play around with it, and see what happens. So I did a little bit of a test spray and stuff, just to kind of see what each of the colors looked like on the sample paper here in the beige. I realized that my old blue one of the mixed media spray unfortunately seems to be clogged, or the sprayer is not working. I think I'm still going to use it, but I might just use a paintbrush to kind of fleck on to the actual piece, because I should use it. It's the same idea. It's slightly cheating, but it's the same exact product, just a different color. And for the actual piece itself, I'm going to do it on a canvas panel that I bought from Utrecht a couple years ago. I think Utrecht was discontinuing its own brand at the time because they merged with Blick Art Materials. So I was able to get a bunch of these for like 10 cents each or something like that. So they were on super sale, and then it was like buy 5, get 5 free or something ridiculous like that. So I have a bunch of these. It's just 7 ounces, 100% cotton canvas, triple primed, acrylic gesso, archival quality for all mediums. So, I think we're going to do it on this. I chose the canvas board because it's more durable than a lot of paper is, especially because with the description of the Faber-Castell water brush, with it having the lid to kind of scrape back the gelatos, having something a little bit sturdier that you can actually apply a little bit more pressure to without ripping through it seemed like a good plan for this one. As for subject matter, I chose a skull. I really enjoy skulls. I have a lot of skull clothing, a lot of skull jewelry. I don't really draw or paint them very often, so figured that might be a cool thing to do, especially with these colors. I also wanted to do kind of a trash polka kind of design, which that's a certain kind of like fad in tattooing. It's like that mixed with a little bit of expressionism at the end. I start with a mechanical pencil to do the outline so I can decide where I want everything to be. And I end up using that chart pack spectrum marker to deepen up that outline first, just so it's a little bit easier for me to follow when I start putting progressively more and more layers on this. I ended up layering a lot in this one. It's funny because it kind of starts as though it's a watercolor painting. It looks really loose and really wet, and I just keep layering more and more on top of that. And with these items that came in this box, it ends up giving some really cool texture effects in the end. Unfortunately, I lost a little bit of footage, had a technical issue, but what I did next was I used the blue Mamoru art spray that I had from a previous box. And since the spray nozzle didn't work and it wouldn't spray, I actually dipped it into a palette and applied it with that water brush. I do use the hairdryer a lot for this project to speed up that drying process. Also, using that hairdryer gives some motion and a little bit more texture to certain areas of the painting. The acrylic spray is really, really thin, and that's probably because it's supposed to be a spray medium. For a lot of it, I did use the water brush, and I think it would work better if you used a dry brush because it's already really watered down and really wet. And then adding that water brush on top of it made it 4 times as wet. With the Faber-Castell gelatos, I experimented with a couple different forms of application. I used the water brush and put it on the tip of the gelato in order to use a light pigment. I didn't really care for that application as much. I really enjoyed using the crown directly on the canvas board and then using the water brush to kind of pull it around and smooth it out a little bit. I enjoyed the rough effect and the application that those gelato crowns gave. I will probably use them more with other acrylic paints in the future and possibly even with some marker drawings or watercolor drawings. It adds just a nice little element of texture to the piece the further you go. I keep layering the mixed media spray and applying it with a brush. I also use a towel to kind of pull it up a little bit. There, I used the red and sprayed it directly onto the piece. I personally don't care for that application as much because it's quite a bit more difficult to control. At least for how I was using it. I think if I would have started with it as the background and then done the skull over it, that would have probably been a better way to go about this in order. My preferred splatter method is still going to probably be using watered down paint, applying it to a brush, and flicking like I just did there. I'm also using gravity to get some fun little drips going down in that background. I really enjoyed this project. I think a lot of that has to do with, first of all, the subject matter, but then how messy and loose it could get, and then the amount of textures you could get by playing with these items together. For shading on that skull, I used the blue gelato crown first, and then I mixed the blue media spray over it by applying it with the water brush. And I had a lot of fun with the blood orange crayon as well. It ends up looking way more red in the final product than it did when I swatched it to begin with. It looked more like red orange to me, and here it looks more like a cadmium red. To pull out some white highlights, I used the scraping edge of that water brush that they talked about in the description. I also end up using the mechanical pencil I used earlier, not the lead part, but just the metal part. And I tried using a palette knife too. The palette knife didn't work as well. The other two were pretty good. So I was able to kind of play with it in ways they suggested. Pulling up to get to the white of the canvas with that scraping method adds another layer of texture to the piece. In conclusion, I enjoyed how all of these items worked together. My favorite part of the box was probably the Faber-Castell Gelatos crayons, and I think it's just because it's something I have never used before. I like getting these boxes because I like playing with new materials and experimenting with stuff, and I enjoy the challenge and the troubleshooting that comes with it when you're doing a quick project like this with some materials you aren't quite used to using. The Faber-Castell water brush, it worked pretty well. It is kind of small for my hand. I have some that are a little bit longer. It worked for what it was. Don't hate it, don't really love it. The Marabu mixed media spray, I think they would work for some larger projects, or even if you start it with the background. I still think my preferred splatter method is going to always be using a brush because it is slightly more controllable for me. The Chart Pack Spectral marker, it was a nice juicy marker. It worked pretty well. The only time I had some issues with it was when I was applying it on top of the gelatos, which that makes sense. You're putting alcohol on top of something that's a little waxier in texture. It had a little bit more issues showing through, but the nib cleaned off pretty easily when it did come in contact with the other materials. I will probably use that again too. I had a lot of fun with this project. I enjoyed the results I was able to get with these items together. Whoever curated this one did a very good job. I already have a title for this skull project. It's going to be titled Evil Looking Doorstop. If you get that reference, let me know, because it's from a little while ago, and it's from when a certain gaming company made more than just Star Wars games. But we are nearing the end of this video. If you liked this, please hit that like button. If you have any comments, questions, feelings, or concerns, let me know in that comment section down below. If you got this box, let me know what colors you got. Let me know what you made with it. Let me know how you felt about the stuff working together. More opinions is always a good thing. It's better to have a more well-rounded view and not just listening to one human being to make up your own mind. If you want to see more Artsnacks unboxing videos, please hit that subscribe button. I do this once a month and have been doing so since, I want to say, November of last year. It's been a minute now. Once again, thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a great day or night, depending on when you're watching this. I will leave you with this pretty sweet skeleton dance music for the last little bit of this video. Bye!